Hi, this is Suzanne Wachtel, and today's podcast is going to be about Kundalini. I happen to be here with my wonderful teacher who I so admire and love, and I've been taking her classes for years, and she is really the expert on Kundalini yoga. And I've found that when I started doing it, I tried it by accident, and it literally made me feel peaceful and calm and changed something inside of me forever. And so I've been practicing Kundalini yoga at least 2 to 3 times a week for the past 5 years now. And this woman, Elizabeth, I'm going to let her introduce herself. She is just a remarkable goddess, and she teaches so beautifully. You leave her class literally feeling like your soul has been dipped by an angel. It's just beautiful. So I would like her to introduce herself and explain to us what Kundalini yoga is in her opinion.
Thank you so much, Suzanne. It's such a joy to be here, and thank you for that amazing introduction. So my name is Elizabeth Andrews. My spiritual name is Gyan Nihal, and I am a multidimensional Kundalini yoga guide. I am a heart-centered breathwork teacher that really, my passion is really all about helping people reduce stress and anxiety in their life and find the joy and exuberance that is inherently inside of them. There is a radiance, there is a glow. And so with the practice of Kundalini yoga, we really get to let that light shine from the inside out. And so, as I said, my passion, here on earth is just inspiring people to believe in themselves through this beautiful practice of Kundalini yoga, which I can tell you more about.
Yeah, so people ask me all the time, what is this Kundalini? Is it a cult? There's been rumors, everything has a reputation. I personally just know how it makes me feel when I'm done. Like what you just described, I feel peaceful, I have less anxiety, I've done breath work. But can you explain it to our listeners? What is Kundalini? What does it mean?
Absolutely. And many people do have a lot of preconceived notions about what is Kundalini yoga. Kundalini yoga is thousands of years old. It comes from India, and it has been here in America since the 60s in a little bit of different iterations. And so it's a very powerful breathwork movement practice. It's a meditative practice where we also use mantra. I say that we are really doing somatic movements which help release energy, which help release emotions, which help really just help the physical body feel an ability to grasp the nervous system in a balanced way so we can come through life more in the parasympathetic nervous system rather than the sympathetic nervous system, our survival mode, like so many of us are living in.
Can you give us like an example? Like that sounds a little complicated, somatic and all of parasy. What do you mean? Like in simple terms, how would you describe a couple of somatic movements that you do in your yoga?
Sure.
teaching?
Like one somatic movement that I really love is literally just taking a deep inhale through the nose and an exhale, audible sigh. And that can be just so healing to really start to move some energy. Another somatic movement that I really love in my own personal practice is shaking my hands above my head, maybe for 30 seconds, if not longer, and just helping myself to move the energy. You can look at an animal, for example, right? Your dog, when it doesn't like something, it wants to shake off the energy, it shakes, And so those are 2 exercises that I've found can be really clearing for how I might be feeling it at a particular moment, to release myself from that.
I was taught also sometimes to tap, like in your
Yes, I
like
love tapping.
Like taking your fingers, just tapping your chest, tapping your forehead.
That's absolutely
your cheeks,
right.
Your face, your throat, your arms, your entire body. So during the week, sometimes when I'm not here and I'm having a moment, I will do that breath, or I'll shake like you've taught us to do, or the tapping. No one even knows what you're doing, and it just does really help you in that minute.
You are so right. You can turn your office chair around. Nobody has to see you. And you can take 3 minutes to do some of these practices. And they're so obtainable. They're so tangible. I love tapping as well because that really helps me feel like a release of energy in any particular part of my body, particularly like my navel, right? Like a lot of times we're holding a lot of tension, a lot of stress there. Yes, right? So you can tap all around the belly button in that area. You can move up to your heart. As you said, you can tap into like the side of your temples, your jaw, the center of your forehead. And it really just helps to allow the nervous system and the vagal nerve really is what you're tapping into to provide a little bit of relaxation and softening within the body.
You definitely leave feeling like really like your soul has had a gentle cleansing. How did you get into Kundalini? Like, how did you start? I went by accident. I was a regular yoga studio person, and a Kundalini teacher came as like a one day to fill in, and I tried it, and I was hooked.
I love that. I love that for you. And my story is actually quite similar. I walked into a Kundalini yoga studio that I didn't know was a Kundalini yoga studio that very well could have been an Ashtanga yoga studio, and I could be a Ashtanga yogi now. But I walked in that first day and I met my first teacher, Jody, and we had a really beautiful conversation, and I felt a lot of connection to her and her own story of losing her best friend who was her dad. And the year before, I had lost my father. And so it was like a year of magical thinking, a year of grief. And I was really looking for something. I was really searching for something to help heal that hole in my heart, that profound loss that really, took the rug right out from under me. And so I really needed a lot of healing in my root chakra and my sacral and my solar from losing my daddy. And so I walked into this yoga studio, as I said, and the rest is history. And I found healing. And I found healing after my first Kundalini yoga class. I was hooked.
You feel better, right?
I did. I felt so much better. And I felt that this really has the capacity to offer really big healing to a lot of people in a lot of different ways, whether it's from healing from addiction, healing from heartbreak, anxiety, stress relief. Yes, this is, again, it's a very tangible practice. We call it a householder's practice. We're using it in our daily lives as we move through all the wakes and the quakes and our job. And I use it in the car all the time when I'm in traffic,
the breath work, I think.
It's the breath work, and it just allows the body and your spirit to have a new awareness of who is Suzanne, who is Elizabeth, who am I inspired to be in this life.
And when I found to let out tension too.
It is such a way to let out tension. It's a very practical practice, and it really gave me a lot of confidence, to walk through the door of who I was becoming. So I'm very grateful for the practice and my teacher.
So I have a question. What's with the white outfits? So people look at sometimes I'm sitting in class and I feel like if people saw me, they'd think I'm in a cult. And I laugh to myself. So why do people wear white? Why do they have the
sheepskins? Yes.
The mat. Like, what is that all?
Yes.
And headdress. It does look kind of weird, I guess, to people that don't know, have never practiced.
It is. And I have often, felt a little people are judging the book by its cover. So this is a great opportunity to shine a little bit of light on some of those things that people aren't sure about. So we wear white because it's taught that the color white helps you to expand your energy, that which we call your aura. Okay? And so when you're wearing the color white, I don't know about you, but I usually sit up a little bit higher. I sit up a little bit taller. First of all, I don't want to spill anything on myself. So we get to be a little bit more regal in how we're presenting ourselves. And so, with that, the color white can have that expansive feeling. And if you are the teacher or, there's lots of different kinds of ceremonies and white parties and things that people ask you to wear white. And it really is because it can be actually a lot more radiant. Like you feel really, pure and radiant, So As well as sitting on the sheepskin, that also has to do with your energetic field. And it can be very grounding for the person that's choosing to sit on the sheepskin. My first sheepskin was a gift. I am a vegetarian, and I was like, I am not sitting on a sheepskin, but a lot of things in life is the experience. And so for me, Kundalini yoga is that way, best to be experienced. And one of those things was also sitting on the sheepskin. When I decided to meditate on the sheepskin for the first time, my meditation was so much deeper. My mind was so much calmer. I felt myself to go really to different realms that I hadn't before. And so that was really exciting. And the head covering does something similar for me. Basically, the head covering reminds me that I am the teacher guiding the practice, and at that moment, I'm not Elizabeth. And it helps me focus completely and hold space for the students in the class rather than thinking about my to-do list or the things that I get to do later, you know?
So in a very short way, could you explain what meditation is? Because people are so freaked out sometimes when I talk about meditation.
Of course.
Like they're scared that... To me, it's just focusing on something and not thinking. It's
Exactly.
not really such a big, scary, mystical thing.
That is a great way to put it. I think of meditation as letting the thoughts be as they are. I'm not trying to change anything. I'm just allowing myself to concentrate on one thing, which is my breath. The incoming and the outgoing. That's it. Letting the mind have all of the monkey mind things, play all of the stories. And what's actually happening when that happens is you are clearing that little computer that inside of your brain that we call the subconscious, and just by letting it go. You know, I think there are a lot of preconceived notions about meditation of the yogi sitting very stiff and not moving a muscle, right on the top of the Himalayas in a snowstorm and not thinking. Right. And it's actually quite the opposite. You might be thinking a lot. You might be thinking about a multitude of things. You might even have memories of things that you don't even remember that you remembered until that moment.
To me, meditation could be as simple as shopping. It could be
Absolutely.
golfing. It could be painting. Cooking.
Absolutely. I take a walk every day. That is my moving meditation. Chopping your vegetables for dinner can be a meditation. Your early morning tea or coffee can be a meditation as you watch the sun rise. Life is meditation, because what you might be concentrating on in every single one of those moments is how deeply am I breathing. We speak about this a lot, right? So we have the wearing the white, the head covering, the sheepskin. Does that make me spiritual? Well, no. It helps me, right? It looks spiritual, right? And it helps me to ground myself and ground my energy, but that's not what actually makes a person spiritual. What makes a person spiritual is how deeply they're choosing to breathe in any particular moment. And let go. Yeah. Exactly. That's the softening.
All the noise around them and let go.
Right. And just allow yourself to be in your peace and not let anything steal your joy. And so a daily meditation practice, or even a weekly meditation practice in any modality.
Kundalini a couple times a week or once a week even will do it.
It absolutely will do it. It's said that the effects last 48 to 72 hours. Wow. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for all that you do for the community.
Thank you.
Where can people find you if they wanted to come take a class?
Yes, so currently I am teaching at Atta Yoga Shala in Delray Beach, Florida. I have weekly classes Tuesday and Thursday at 9:15 a.m. and Wednesday at 3 p.m. I also teach private classes throughout the Tri-County area, and you can contact me on Instagram at Kundalini_aura. That's Kundalini, KUNDALINI_aura, AURA. So connect with me there, and we can start your Kundalini journey, your meditation journey, your breathwork journey.
And do people have to know, like, if they've never done it before, can they just come in and try it? Like, is it going to be hard?
Absolutely. One of my favorite mottos is come as you are and to honor your body. The practice of Kundalini yoga that I teach is a safe, trauma-informed, sacred space where you get to develop your own practice with a group of people that are very loving and compassionate too. I'm very proud of the community that we've been cultivating here since 2021. And so this is an all levels practice. Everybody welcome.
And they don't have to wear white the first time, right? They can wear
You
whatever.
don't have to wear white. You can wear black. You can wear whatever. Come check it out. I just say, like, you don't have to wear tight-fitting yoga clothes. You can wear something free-flowing. However your belly feels comfortable to breathe.
Okay. Well, I thank you so much for giving us your time
Thank
today.
you. Thank you so
I really
much.
appreciate it.
Very happy to be here. And as we say in Kundalini Yoga, Sat Nam.
Sat Nam. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Ta-da.